You are about to enter the court of Judge. People are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another heated debate on the Judge Show. This is episode 4 of season 2. If you've not seen the previous episodes, check them out because you're in for a treat. Tonight, we have maybe one of the most heated arguments that we're going to see on the Judge Show. We have everybody's favorite, genitals versus genitals. We are going to find out what the superior genitals are tonight. Is it the pocket rocket with the redhead, or is it the hairy clam? Let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to introduce our arguments. That vitamin C didn't work from season 1. I'm still stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, would you like to cure your stupidity? Have vitamin C. Let's hear from our arguers, ladies and gentlemen. My brain's not working right now. We have the lovely Jojo, who hails all the way from the land of Hungary, representing Vagina. Jojo, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what you are looking to accomplish tonight?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jojo. I'm a huge woman enthusiast, aka a gay girl, and I would like to convince everyone that vagina is much better than penis.
All right, and over on the defendant side, I guess, I don't know really who sued who on this case, but let's call Blue the defendant here. Blue, who are you and what are you representing today?
Well met, everyone. I am Blueberry, and I will be representing the superior genital, the penis.
All right. Thank you for the follow. We got a brand new follower that just came in. Take a seat at the back at the courtroom. Imagine getting a follower during Judge Penis versus Vagina, but hey, stranger things have happened. For those that don't know how this is going to work, we are going to let the prosecutor, Jojo, give an opening statement, share some facts. We're going to then let the defendant, Blueberry, give his facts and statement. Then we're going to let you guys, the jury, and myself potentially ask questions to them. They will each give a final statement to basically wrap up their argument, their debate, put a little bow on it on why they should basically win. And then you, the jury, the Twitch chat, you will decide who of the two of them deserves to win based on their argument. So try to go into these arguments unbiased. If you prefer one or the other, listen to both sides and make a judgment on who you thought made the better case. Then we'll cut to a silly commercial, and then that's the episode. Without further ado, let's start things off. Jojo, take it away.
Okay, just like some others before me, I also have a presentation. Alright, so I don't really want to bore everyone with the basic facts that we all know from sexual education and human anatomy. We all know that vagina extends from the cervix, which is like a piece of tissue that connects the vagina to the uterus, and the vagina ends as a hole outside the body, which is called the vagina opening. So yeah, we all know these things, but I just wanted to show you guys a couple fun facts that might not be as evident, but yeah. So let's start us off with this one. Does vagina have protein? Yes, in fact, it does. It's full of vitamin and all kinds of good things. It also tastes great, which is why you should always eat your girl out, no matter what. Because it's good for them, it's good for you, it's good for everybody. Alright, next one. So this is a scene from a horror movie that came out last year. The girl is saying, "I'd rather eat pussy than people." So to give it a little bit of context, this was a movie called Low Lives, which is about a family of cannibals who travel through America looking for people to eat. And their daughter happens to be a lesbian. And as she is trying to seduce another girl who she intends to kill after, just so that they can eat her later, she soon realizes that she actually doesn't want to do that anymore. And I know this is all spoiler, but I'm assuming nobody will watch that. But yeah, so she realizes, she gets close to the girl, which she didn't intend on doing, and she realizes that she would just rather be her lesbian self and not be a cannibal anymore, which is kind of ironic because technically, metaphorically speaking, all lesbians are cannibals. But anyways, she gets into an argument with her homophobic father, and she just tells him that she doesn't want to do this anymore, but she would love to eat pussy. So yeah, I would recommend. It's a fun movie. Anyways, another good thing about Vagina is that you can store a bunch of things in it. It's like nature's pocket, as it was famously talked about in a show called Broad City. But whatever you do, please do not put anything sharp in it, just to avoid any kind of serious injury. So yeah, you can.
Objection. The
Yes,
the
please.
the persecution wants to smuggle narcotics in her vagina. Uh that is
I did.
oh my god.
That is not
I
true. I did not instruct anybody to put any kind of narcotics inside.
I want to point out that the Broad City episode that in which that episode aired was specifically made before marijuana was legalized, and it was something called pussy weed. So I'm going to put that out there.
But
So
okay, but it is legal now, is it not? In
well,
certain
it was
states,
illegal at the time. You store
it
weed
does
once.
not
What's
matter.
next? Cocaine. But go on. Go on.
Whatever. I'd like to emphasize once again that I did not instruct anybody to put illegal drugs in their vaginas. But you
Well,
can
directing
use it as
them
a storage
to,
for many, many things that are not illegal.
I don't know if
but
storing
direct,
a package of drugs in your vagina would be safe. Wouldn't that leak out potentially and maybe cause the
I mean,
user?
that's up to you how you contain it. I don't fucking know.
but the episode in which she's referring to, I want to point out, was an episode in which narcotics was the thing being hidden in the so-called nature's pocket.
Yes,
So.
but I understand this is just a demonstration and like a funny way of representing this
Mhm.
idea.
Yeah,
It's
I didn't think JoJo was going to take this so seriously. Do you have a presentation about penis?
Well, I'll when I get to my argument, I'll yeah, when it's my turn to for my case, I'll have my argument.
Okay, let's let JoJo
yes, I
continue
trust that
on.
you would do that. Anyways, I would just like to point out about this idea that they do not recommend to put a penis in there. And I wholeheartedly agree. I have never tried it, but it sounds awful, and neither have I. So, yeah. I've not a good idea.
Wait,
that's for sure.
you've never tried putting a penis in your vagina?
No, I don't know.
Oh wow, I thought you did.
No. Where did you get that idea from?
Before you turned gay, I thought you used to like men.
No, she was bi.
I
Almost the whole time.
I never liked men. I didn't turn gay. I was born gay. And before I realized that I was. Anyways,
I thought you had experience.
I
with
tried
men.
certain things, but not that. Just to point it out. But
Okay.
enough. That's enough of my personal experiences. Anyways, as the belated great Betty White once said, why do people say grow some balls? Balls are weak and sensitive. If you want to be tough, grow vagina. Those things can take a pounding. Which is very well said. You can easily take out any man by just kicking them in the balls, because it's a very sensitive area. But if you do the same thing and try to kick a woman in their vagina, it's not gonna hurt as much. It'll hurt. It's not gonna take him out completely.
Yeah,
Which
she's not wrong.
gives us a huge advantage over men.
Anyone try jumping on a bike and hitting their ball sack on the bar? That hurts like a bitch.
Objection. The prosecution is recommending physical violence on the defense.
Once again, I did not. Anyhow, moving on. Here's a very true quote from Harley Quinn. Pussies are powerful, they birthed all of humanity. Yes, so without vaginas, nobody would exist. This is just a simple fact that you cannot argue with.
I don't know if I'm supposed to object as the judge, but to counteract this, you hate people.
I hate people?
Why do you want them to be
Sure,
born?
I didn't say that, but I'm assuming most of these people here are like grateful to be alive and like humanity.
I don't know about that.
Like most of the jury, maybe like half of them at least. I don't know. But anyhow, even if I don't like people, I do like some people. So I am grateful for them that they exist. So, and it couldn't be possible without vaginas.
All right, there we go.
All right. Next slide. Yeah, vagina basically cannot be. Oh no, this is the next one. Sorry. So yeah, when women get turned on in public, no one has to know, because you don't get like an actual boner if you have a vagina, because that's not how it works. No one will know. But men struggle a lot with this, because if they cannot hide that they're aroused, it can cause problems, because people can see. But if you have vagina, you can just act like you're being normal, and even though you're still like, if you want to have sex with the person that's standing right in front of you, no one has to know about it, which is also another power move for us, because it makes us less vulnerable.
Jojo coming kind of hard with this vagina presentation here. I wasn't expecting this, but go ahead.
Thank you. That's a nice pun you did there, but I appreciate that. Your honor.
Were hard.
Yeah. Anyway, next thing. This is kind of just a joke kind of thing. There's this really stupid horror movie called Teeth that I watched in high school. My friends made me watch it. And basically, the main character has teeth in her vagina.
That is
Not
a
really.
terrifying. That is
It is a horror movie,
terrifying
so
and not
it's
helpful
supposed.
to the movie.
It is supposed to be terrifying. Anyhow, the
Well,
movie
it is
itself
terrifying.
is
Uh-huh.
it's a very silly and gross movie. But apart from that, it has a nice message. Like, what if women could protect themselves this way from gross men by having teeth in their vaginas?
I've had the misfortune of seeing this movie, and yeah, it was pretty stupid. But go on.
Yes, it's very stupid. It's it could have been improved if it would have turned out that like she's supposed to be a lesbian, and if she was, then she wouldn't have to bite the dicks off of men and the hand of her gynecologist. But anyhow, it's pretty good for like being sort of a self-defense. So yeah, even so it didn't turn out as I wanted to, it's still, I think it's a fun idea.
I don't want to stray
Next
too
thing.
far away from the current episode. Nugget, I'm sorry to hear that you're not well, and you can't do your case. Spy has agreed to step up and represent Pumpkin as a monster. So if there's anything that you need to tell him, please DM Spy Caliber. If you have a presentation ready or any facts or anything you would like to pass on to him, he will be representing you in the next case for Pumpkin as a monster. You can continue, Jojo.
Okay. So basically, vagina is never used as like an insult. You can call a bad person a dick and all sorts of synonyms
Objection.
for penis.
Objection.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
incorrect. To call a person lacking in strength or ability is to be called a pussy. To be called a volatile person is to be called a cunt. There are many negative adjectives that are used to describe vaginal adjectives that are used to describe a person poorly.
Okay, first of all, this only applies to vagina. Nothing else, just that
I mean,
word
I
itself.
don't.
That
I need to
precisely.
remain neutral on this, but Wizard wants me to remain neutral as the judge. But if we're putting that argument there, dick is a synonym for penis, is it not?
Yes,
That is true.
but that was her argument. She said that there's no negative connotation words for women parts to describe somebody negatively, which I rebuttal that there are and use the
I
word.
specifically was talking about vagina. I am aware that people wrongly call each other pussies, which, if I may go back to a previous slide, pussies are in fact very powerful. So it's not actually an insult to call someone a pussy, but it's general knowledge that people do that. It's accepted socially. Nothing you can do about it, but yeah, it should not be an insult. But here we are. And that concludes my presentation. Together, feminist, lesbian, vagina. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for your presentation, Jojo. We're going to let Blue now take the stage and present facts that penis is the better tool. I will let you please refrain from arguing about any Jojo's points right now. I would like you just to present your facts now here.
Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Before I start my argument, I want to preface this that while I do respect women tremendously, having a very powerful mother take care of me, My argument may border into the misogynistic territory because I will be insulting vaginas for probably like 30 minutes. And this has no bearing on my feeling towards women. They just should have been born with better genitalia. I'm sorry. Anyway, there are a few points I would like to make. Due to the nature of my argument, I'm unable to have visual representation. I don't think showing quotes is a, a good way to go about making points. So instead, I will just present actual arguments. So now, this argument is subjective in nature, in a way. However, there are some points that make penis objectively better, and we'll go over the many details. Now, the first thing we will talk about is the appearance. The penis is this beautiful, cute thing, has this adorable head and a long body on top of these nice voluminous or a voluptuous set of testicles, whereas the vagina looks like a sarlacc pit covered with roast beef. It is terrifying to look at, and just
Objection, opinion.
just horrible in general. Okay. My next point that I'll be making is the maintenance of the genitalia. With the penis, we have circumcised penises and uncircumcised. To maintain that, it is just uh, a simple wash. With uncircumcised, you pull the skin back and you clean under the head, and voila, you're done. Whereas with vagina, there is a lot of maintenance in that, and very easily it can get in different types of infections and and yeah, poor hygiene can make a vagina really sick, which leads me to my next point. Now, being a connoisseur of penis, I have been around several. A penis can easily just be cleaned and you have a nice and delicious snack to enjoy. Whereas with a vagina, you can have it it can smell so bad. Now, I have a platinum star, and if you don't know what a platinum star is, it is like it is what it is it describes how around vagina a man has been. A gold star means they've only been around a vagina once. That is during the normal birth of a human. A platinum star is when a person has been born with like cesarean section, so they have never touched a vagina. Now, I would like to claim I still have my platinum star. However, I worked as a caretaker for my mother who was sick. And let me tell you, it was unpleasant when I had to do her cleaning and grooming. It was very, very unpleasant. And yeah. Now, I'm not advocating for this, of course, but there was a serial killer named Charles Cullen who found the smell of old women vagina so horrible that he started killing them as a serial killer nurse. Again, I do not agree with what he's done, but that is something to make note of, that if a vagina smells so bad, it can turn someone into a serial killer.
Well, I'm glad that we're taking the opinion of a psychopath.
I'm just saying, it's there. So,
Right.
Okay.
This
Now-
Continue.
I don't know really what this has to do with anything, but do you have a preference between circumcised or uncircumcised penis, Mr. Blue?
Well, I mean, I enjoy penis of several or several types, but I do enjoy an uncircumcised penis more, as there is more flavor to enjoy. But that is besides the point. Okay, and now my final point is in nature, vaginas. It's actually funny that the persecution had brought up the teeth thing, because in nature, this is an actual thing. There are vaginas that will literally destroy penises that attempt to enter it. This is common in animals such as cats and ducks. While I don't recommend fucking a duck or a cat or whatever else, fucking animals, I think that that is something that should be taken note of, that vaginas are a destructive force that can destroy penises, and that makes them extremely terrifying, and goes back to the sarlacc pit of like eating flesh that I had mentioned in point one.
Just a curiosity. Weren't you? I don't know what this has related to do with penises, but there was at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where we were trying to do a hot dads tier list, and Darkwing Duck came up, and people asked you seriously if you would fuck the duck, and it got to the point where you would actually rather play Fall Guys than fuck the duck. Is this true?
That is true, but I don't see the relevance in this argument. In fact, that was a source of trauma, because thinking back, that the poor Darkwing Duck probably had his penis destroyed by some other duck vagina. Okay,
Oh god.
and those are my major points. Now, going back at the beginning of our argument, the judge had said that mentioned something about putting a bow on the preferred genitals. I want to point out that it is not possible to put a bow on a vagina, but it is possible to put a bow on a penis.
Objection. It is possible.
I don't know how you're gonna be tying that labia together, but no.
No, there's other ways to do it.
Okay, well that was each person's introductory arguments. I'm gonna let you two ask each other questions now. So based on the other person's presentation, Jojo, do you have any questions for Blue?
Not at this point. No.
Okay. Blue, do you have any questions or statements that you'd like to add about Jojo's presentation?
No, but I just thought of some few things I can add to my argument. Now, I normally try to avoid ad hominem, which is when you attack a person's character. And I want to point out that the very argument of the persecution should be called into question, because she has never experienced a penis. Now, if you're gonna say, "Well, Blue, didn't you say you were a platinum star?" I'm gonna point out that
Objection.
I have been a caretaker, thus I know the horrible smell of a vagina.
Okay. Here's the thing, Blue. I never put a penis either in my mouth or my vagina. That does not mean that I have not experienced anything with it. Also, I am the proud owner of a vagina. I have been around vaginas and I do know the smell, and it's also not very hard to keep it hygienic.
I'm going to
There
disagree.
there's many cases
because-
when it doesn't. It does have a certain smell, but it doesn't necessarily have to be anything disgusting, because obviously there's body odor that everyone has, because we are living, breathing things, and there's bacteria in the vagina as well. It's a self-cleaning device also, and there's going to be, if you bring anything in your body, like if you eat food or drink, it's going to affect how you smell. But it does not have to be anything repulsive. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
If you keep it clean.
Well, for as a person who has been caretaking, I had to learn another anatomy of another person in order to do that. Like, you're not supposed to wipe upwards, it needs to go down. Otherwise, you're pushing feces or whatever
Sure.
illness inside. This is something that I had to learn. But when you're a man and you have a penis, it's just pee and a shake. You don't have to worry about maintenance, and you're good.
Okay. Does not make the penis better. I don't see how that would make it better.
Well,
Maybe it's easier to clean a little bit, but
we're talking about easy. One of my arguments was that the penis is easier to maintain. This was, I believe, point number 2 of my argument, that maintenance is much easier. And that is one of the factors of why the penis is superior.
We have a couple statements here from the jury regarding both of yours. Both of
Sure.
you, yours experience. I think it may be a little bit more geared towards JoJo, but we do have a counter argument saying that the person who's never experienced it may not be an expert in the matter. I'm not saying that through common sense. You can't know round about something, but take it with a grain of salt. Versus someone who has shoved a lot of penises in their vagina, they probably know a lot more about the glory or lack thereof penis. Do you have anything to say about that, JoJo?
well, in a way, it's kind of lesbian shaming. I mean, it's how I was born. It's not my preference. I don't know what to do about that. But I've known my very young men. Like I said, even though I haven't put it in my mouth or my vagina, I have experienced things with penises. I don't know what else to say about that.
Yes, you're not wrong, Map and Charlie. They are absolutely 100% correct with uncircumcised penises. Smegma, also known as what our train likes to call dick cheese, is most definitely a thing. So, Blue, would you like to touch on that?
Yes, this was in my argument number 2. I have said that cleaning is simple maintenance. It's just pulling the foreskin back and just cleaning under the head, which will get rid of most of the smell. Or
Can I sorry, can I ask Blueberry a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Blue, have you ever put your penis in a vagina?
No.
So there you go. He does not have any more experience with vaginas than I do.
Correct.
But
I have been around vagina and I have cleaned vagina, and it is very unpleasant.
Yes, as I've said, I've had my way around penises in my lifetime as well. Did not have to put it in there to know, but There it is. So basically, this argument is invalid. That I am not qualified enough to talk about penises.
Wizard says
Thank
JoJo
you.
is being a bit vague. Could you expand on that? Camelot is suggesting maybe one of you might call a witness.
Okay.
Would any of you
I
like
do
to call
not
a
have a
witness that might have experience with both penises and vaginas, maybe?
I do not have a witness.
Well, I don't have a witness, but I will still strongly say that I've had experience around vaginas, and it is not great.
Yeah, penis was not great either.
Okay,
What I'm
well,
hearing from both sides is penis is not great because it's not great. Vagina's not great because it's not great.
I had objective reasons uh why vaginas aren't great, but okay, I'm ready with the concluding statements if there are no
Okay.
questions
Do we have any
or
questions
objections.
from the jury? I don't really have anything else to add to this. Jury, do you have any final questions for either JoJo or Blueberry? Map says, I like men and women, but honestly, genitals are the weakest part of the attraction. Okay. Charlie is down for both. Really don't give a damn about genitals. That's interesting. You are the biggest fan of sex that I know. And that's not a knock at Mappy Mappers, guys. Banging can be wonderful. Don't you know Poop Donkey? I mean, he does like to jerk off to the Man Burning show. It doesn't look like we have anybody interested in asking any questions. So, if the two of you would like to sum up your arguments, and then we can put it to a poll on who did it better. Oh wait, what do we have here from Wizard? I'd like to hear what Blue says about the fact you can masturbate to orgasm with a vagina many times, but only once with a penis.
Okay. That is how the male anatomy works. There is a refraction period for rest. I don't see the relevance of this other than, I guess, if you want to be a woman and have continued orgasms or something. So I don't understand what the point of that is.
Jojo, do you have any counter arguments to being able to have multiple orgasms?
I mean, I'm gonna also argue that orgasms may feel nice, but there have been scientific cases where this is more common in women that they get so overstimulated that they can't stop having orgasms, and orgasms start turning painful. And yes, this is a real scientific. This is a real condition that has been documented in scientific journals. So while having orgasms feel nice, having multiple can end up being painful. So the refractory period prevents you from uh, putting yourself in pain and having just being in pain.
Speaking about the pain part, I know obviously you haven't experienced this, Jojo, but do you have anything to say about childbirth?
Uh,
Oh yeah, that's a good argument. Yeah, you're gonna bring more demons into this world. We need less of
I
that.
will not, because I will not put a penis in my vagina. But
I was mainly more so going along the
obviously-
whole line of the pain thing with that, since you were talking about the pain, not really the spawning demons. But like I said,
No,
I know
just the
JoJo doesn't
whole-
have an argument, or I mean a uh, uh, experience with childbirth either. But
Look,
I mean,
I myself do
pro-
not support childbirth as something that I would like to experience myself. But if anyone wants to have their own child, obviously that is completely fine. Even though the world is full of orphans, and there are many ways that you could also have children without having to have a man involved in the process these days. But yeah, it's
I have a question from Winnings. Let me see if I can make sense of this question here. What about the ease of standing up to pee, Blueberry? Did you touch on this as we can, as men, get in and out the restroom or able to go in a bush? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, I understand what they're saying. So, a benefit of having a penis is that you can easily just go in and out of the restroom. For women, they have to sit, and there is a longer waiting time because after they're done with their business, they have to clean up and stuff. So that is a good point. That peeing is quick and easy when you have a penis. You don't need to be on the toilet and have wait for your turn of privacy to close the door and stuff.
Is that the next bounty challenge map? Fastest peer?
a lot of people don't have a shy
Now-
bladder, so you don't necessarily have to like need a door if you
Now,
want.
back to the whole thing earlier about childbirth. Again, people are welcome to live their life, but the prospect of pushing out a watermelon from an orifice in your body is something that is also terrifying to me. But
I don't. I
respect
shouldn't be
women.
objecting or counter arguing this because I'm supposed to remain neutral. But I could throw out peeing out. What are those things called? Stones out of your pee hole.
Oh,
You want
yes.
to touch on that?
Oh, actually,
I heard that that's the
speaking of
equivalent of like shoving a watermelon out of your vagina, right?
I mean, yes, but also there is a subset of pleasure that some men do, where they'll take a it's called sounding, where they'll take a metal rod and insert it into their urethra to stimulate it that way. So, the kidney stone you're talking about would, I guess, be someone that's unaccustomed to urethral pleasure. Okay, there's no urethra play talk from Map of Tasmania. All right, but I'm gonna actually go with this. Did you know that the hyena's vagina is an outie and not an innie, and that many hyenas die in childbirth? Because imagine pushing out an actual baby through your penis, and that is what the genitalia of a hyena has. Now, again, terrifying prospect, horrible nature. Vaginas are terrifying. Oh wait, I forgot. Oh my god, I forgot the one thing. What I wanted to avoid this because this was misogynistic. Once a month, vaginas.
I know you were gonna go with that.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I can't
Here-
believe it.
Okay,
in
before you even begin, menstruation is in connection with the uterus, not the vagina. That's
That
all I
it
will
all
say.
comes out
That
from
is
the
where
thing.
that is where the blood leaves the body through the vagina,
Yeah.
but that is
Yeah.
not where it happens.
Well, we know that, but the there that location is where the process is still um it still happens from. It goes from one direction out through the other. So there, I wouldn't say it's like involved in the making of it, but it is made. It is the process of. It's involved in the process of it leaving the body, just like
Yeah,
how
well, if it stayed in there, you would just get
just like
sick and
how
die
the
probably.
butthole just like how the butthole isn't involved in the process of making feces. I don't know why we're going here. It is
I mean, neither.
but
No one was
it
arguing
is
against the butthole.
involved. It is involved in the process of defecation. So we're that is my mentality, is that the vagina doesn't make the blood, but it is involved in the process of uh extruding it.
I mean, with that
So
argument, you
Right.
could also say that the penis is not involved with making the urine, but it's involved with excreting it as well. But, anyways, yes, let's get a
Yeah.
recap here. Let's
Sorry.
get a
One
recap.
other
Oh.
thing I wanted to add is that who is responsible for putting babies in women?
well,
Usually in the natural way.
I mean,
It's
the eggs are
is it
belonging to the women, and the spermatophore is the external hormone, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the external cell that contributes to the birth. But everything starts from
yeah,
the
so who is responsible for putting a baby in women? It's men. And the penis is responsible for putting the semen in the womb, so if you wanna blame childbirth and how gross it is and how painful it is, just blame the penises.
There we go, ladies
Okay.
and gentlemen. No longer blaming Canada, we're blaming the penis. Blame penis. Blame
Thank
penis. All right, we're gonna go to our closing statements here. So, if you guys want to wrap up, basically, if you want to jot down point form notes about what you guys discussed about each of your topics here, we can put it to a vote on who chat thinks argued better. Now, chat, if you're gay or straight and you prefer one genital to the other, please put all of your preferences aside and actually think about the arguments and who presented their case or their argument better. I know it's kind of a silly. This is a little bit of a silly argument, penis versus vagina. But yes, think about the presentations and what everyone said before you put your vote in. Okay, on who you think did better. Whoever wants to go first to just kind of sum everything up.
All right, we'll go ahead, Jojo, since you were the one that started this.
Sure. So, we've heard a lot of things about both sides. But I still stand by my statement that vagina is 100% better. It's not dingling between your legs. It doesn't make you vulnerable towards attacks. Like, people can easily take you out if you have a penis. You don't have to be worried about that if you have a vagina. It's also not nice to look at. There can be very different sizes of it that do not even balance out the way the person is looking. Like, it can be a huge person with the tiniest penis you've ever seen. And when it comes to vaginas, it basically, it's entirely part of your body. It's not dingling to the side. It's just there. You can easily hide it, and it doesn't make you vulnerable to attacks. people with vaginas hold a lot of power, even though we are often taught that that is not the case, but it actually is, no matter what the world tries to tell us. So that is my concluding statement.
All right, Blue, what do you have to say about your concluding statements here?
Okay. Well, I want to touch upon my points. One, like I said, vaginas aren't the most prettiest to look at, especially as a gay man. It is very terrifying. They are hard to manage. They are also unpleasantly smelling, and they can be dangerous, as shown with how they can dismember penises and how they are eh, uh, terrifying in in birth, like in hyenas. So put that to mind. That penises were not the cause of serial killers. Uh, and there we go.
Okay, that is our segment, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to put a poll up. We're going to cut to a commercial. Last year, Game of the Year went to Astrobot. The year before, Game of the Year was Freddy Spaghetti. This year, in 2025, Game of the Year is gonna be Scary Bucket Man! Come to my Halloween party, I dare you! I dare you all! I am in the search for the bucket of candy, but I am going to scare you all away with my ugly motherfucking face. That's why I wear the bucket. Ah! Have I scared you all away yet? Are you here? Back to the show. JoJo wins barely with Vagina wins 7 votes to 5. Blueberry is not gonna like his verdict. Blueberry! You unfortunately must wash every pussy on the planet!
Oh god. Yeah, I never want to do that again after being a caretaker. I would literally rather kill myself.
In Minecraft, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to kill
In the
himself
name
in
of all
Minecraft.
women, thank you.
Anyways, we are gonna get our... Let's roll the credits and let's get ready for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this show has been brought to you by Scary Bucket Man. Newest, greatest video game of 2025. Features 5 levels of fun excitement. Scare away the fiends and the foes with your ugly face on a quest to get to that candy bowl. Game of the Year 2025.